Welcome back to our channel. In a world full of noise, stress, and competition, we often forget something simple: peace, clarity, awareness. More than 2,500 years ago, a man named Gautama Buddha walked away from luxury, power, and comfort to search for truth. He was not searching for money. He was not chasing fame. He was searching for freedom from suffering. And what he discovered changed millions of lives. Buddha taught simple but powerful truths, not complicated philosophy, not unrealistic dreams, but practical wisdom about the mind, about suffering, about happiness, and about peace. His teachings became the foundation of Buddhism, one of the world's major spiritual paths. But these lessons are not only religious, they are practical. They are about how to live better, how to think clearly, how to reduce stress, how to respond wisely. In today's fast life, these lessons are more powerful than ever. Because success without peace is empty. Money without awareness is restless. Achievement without clarity is stressful. In this video, we will learn 8 powerful life lessons from Buddha that can help you. Control your mind. Reduce suffering. Find inner peace. And live wisely. These lessons are simple. But if you truly understand them, they can change your life. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Control your mind or it will control you. One of the most powerful teachings of Buddha is this: your mind is everything. If you cannot control your mind will control you. Most people think their problems come from outside, from other people, from money, from situations, from bad luck. But Buddha taught something different. He taught that suffering begins in the mind. 2 people can face the same situation. One stays calm, one becomes angry. The situation is the same. The difference is the mind. Your mind creates meaning. If someone criticizes you, your mind decides whether to feel hurt or to learn from it. If you fail, your mind decides whether to quit or to grow. If you face difficulty, your mind decides whether to panic or to stay steady. So the real battle is not outside, it is inside. The mind is powerful. It can create fear from imagination. It can create stress from assumptions. It can create anger from interpretation. Many times we suffer not because of reality, but because of our thoughts about reality. You think about the past and feel regret. You think about the future and feel anxiety. But the present moment is often peaceful. Buddha emphasized awareness. He taught that you must observe your thoughts, not fight them, not suppress them. Observe them. When you observe your thoughts, you create distance from them. Instead of saying, "I am stressed," you notice, "I am having a stressful thought." That small difference changes everything. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts come and go. If you react to every thought, your life becomes unstable. If you learn to watch your thoughts, your life becomes calm. The mind is like water. If you keep shaking it, it becomes unclear. If you let it settle, it becomes clear. Clarity brings wisdom. Wisdom brings peace. Controlling the mind does not mean you stop thinking. It means you choose which thoughts to believe. Negative thoughts will appear. Angry thoughts will appear. Fearful thoughts will appear. But you do not have to accept them all. You can ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is this thought true? Is this thought necessary? Most thoughts are automatic, but awareness makes them intentional. Buddha also taught the importance of the present moment. The mind often lives in the past or future. Regret about yesterday. Fear about tomorrow. But peace exists now. When you focus on the present moment, your mind slows down. You breathe deeper. You react less. You become calmer. Simple practices like breathing slowly, observing your surroundings, or paying attention to your actions train the mind. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. An untrained mind creates suffering. A trained mind creates freedom. Imagine your mind like a wild horse. If you let it run freely, it can take you anywhere. But if you train it patiently, it becomes powerful and useful. Most people are controlled by their emotions because they never trained their mind. They react instantly. They speak without thinking. They panic without reason. But when you control your mind, you control your reactions. And when you control your reactions, you control your life. Peace is not found outside, it is created inside. If your mind is calm, even a noisy world feels manageable. If your mind is restless, even a quiet room feels stressful. So the first life lesson is simple. Train your mind daily. Observe your thoughts. Choose your reactions. Stay present. Because when you master your mind, you master your life. Lesson 2. Attachment is the root of suffering. One of the deepest teachings of Buddha was this: attachment creates suffering. At first, this sounds confusing. How can attachment cause pain? We attach to people we love. We attach to dreams. We attach to success. We attach to comfort. Attachment feels natural. But Buddha explained something important. The problem is not love. The problem is clinging. Clinging means holding tightly to something that can change. Everything in life changes. People change. Situations change. Money changes. Health changes. Emotions change. Nothing stays permanent. But the mind wants stability. The mind wants control. The mind wants things to stay the same. When reality changes and our attachment refuses to accept it, suffering begins. For example, if you are attached to praise, criticism hurts deeply. If you are attached to success, failure feels unbearable. If you are attached to a person, losing them creates extreme pain. Attachment says, "This must stay exactly how I want it." Life says, "Everything changes." That conflict creates suffering. Buddha did not say you should not love. He did not say you should not have goals. He said, do not cling. Clinging means you believe your happiness depends completely on something outside you. That creates fear. Fear of losing. Fear of change. Fear of uncertainty. Freedom begins when you accept impermanence. Impermanence means everything is temporary. Joy is temporary. Pain is temporary. Success is temporary. Failure is temporary. When you deeply understand this, you react differently. If something good happens, you enjoy it without becoming dependent on it. If something painful happens, you remember it will pass. Acceptance reduces suffering. Resistance increases suffering. Attachment also creates expectation. You expect people to behave a certain way. You expect life to reward you immediately. You expect results quickly. When expectations fail, frustration grows. Letting go of attachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop demanding. It means you give your best effort but release the need to control the outcome. This mindset creates peace. Work hard, but do not attach your identity to the result. Love deeply, but understand people are human and can change. Plan carefully, but accept uncertainty. When you reduce attachment, fear decreases. And when fear decreases, calmness increases. Imagine holding sand tightly in your hand. The tighter you hold, the faster it slips away. But if you hold it gently, it stays longer. Life is similar. The more tightly you cling, the more pain you feel when things change. The more gently you accept change, the more peaceful you become. Attachment also applies to identity. Sometimes you attach to who you think you are. I am always right. I must always win. I cannot fail. When life challenges this identity, anger appears. Letting go creates growth. Growth requires flexibility. Flexibility requires acceptance. Buddha taught that peace comes from inside. If your happiness depends only on external conditions, you will suffer often. But if your happiness comes from inner balance, you remain stable even during change. Everything in life will change. This is not negative. It is reality. When you fight reality, you suffer. When you accept reality, you adapt. And adaptation creates strength. So the second life lesson is clear. Reduce attachment. Accept change. Give your best effort without clinging to results. Because the more you let go of unhealthy attachment, the lighter your life becomes. And a lighter life is a peaceful life. Lesson 3. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. One of the most powerful teachings connected to Gautama Buddha is this simple truth. Pain is part of life. But suffering is a choice. This does not mean pain is not real. Pain is real. Loss is real. Failure is real. Disappointment is real. Rejection is real. Every human being will experience pain. No one escapes it. But suffering is different from pain. Pain is what happens to you. Suffering is how long you hold on to it. For example, if someone insults you, that moment is pain. But if you think about it for days, replay it in your mind, create anger, create resentment, that becomes suffering. The event was short. The suffering became long. Pain is natural. Suffering is mental repetition. When something difficult happens, the mind often says, "Why did this happen to me? This should not have happened. This is unfair." That resistance increases suffering. Buddha taught acceptance. Acceptance does not mean you like the pain. It means you recognize reality. Reality says, life includes difficulty. When you accept pain as part of life, you reduce additional suffering. Imagine this clearly. If you are walking and you step on a sharp stone, that is the first pain. But if you keep pressing your foot on the same stone again and again, that is self-created suffering. Many people do this mentally. They replay the same mistake. They replay the same betrayal. They replay the same failure. They relive pain long after the event has passed. The mind creates suffering by resisting what already happened. Another example is failure. Failure hurts. It can feel embarrassing. It can feel discouraging. But if you say, "I am a failure," you create identity from one event. Now suffering begins. Pain teaches. Suffering traps. Pain says, "Something happened." Suffering says, "This defines me." That is the difference. Buddha emphasized awareness. When pain appears, observe it, feel it, understand it. But do not build a story around it. Do not add extra meaning. Do not exaggerate. Just observe. Emotions rise. They peak. They fall. Nothing stays permanent. If you allow pain to pass naturally, it fades faster. If you resist it, it stays longer. Think about rain. You cannot stop rain from falling. But you can choose whether to stand calmly under shelter or scream at the sky. Screaming does not stop rain. Acceptance brings calmness. Another important idea is that suffering often comes from attachment. When things do not go as you expected, you resist reality. Resistance creates tension. Tension creates suffering. Flexibility reduces it. You cannot control everything, but you can control your response. Your response determines whether pain becomes suffering. Strong people feel pain. But they do not let pain control them. They learn from it. They grow from it. They move forward. They do not stay stuck. Pain builds strength if you allow it. Suffering weakens you if you hold on to it. Life will test you. You may lose money. You may lose relationships. You may face rejection. But you always have one power, the power of interpretation. You can say, "This destroyed me," or you can say, "This taught me." The event is the same. The mindset changes the outcome. Buddha taught that inner peace comes from understanding the nature of life. Life includes joy and pain, light and darkness, success and failure. If you accept both sides, you remain balanced. If you demand only comfort, you suffer more. Pain is unavoidable. Suffering is optional. You cannot avoid difficulty, but you can avoid mental repetition. You can avoid emotional exaggeration. You can avoid unnecessary resistance. Observe pain, learn from pain, release pain, and move forward. That is wisdom. That is strength. That is freedom. Lesson 4. The power of mindfulness and living in the present. One of the most powerful teachings of Gautama Buddha is mindfulness. Mindfulness means being fully present in this moment. Not at the past, not in the future, but here, right now. Most people do not live in the present. Their body is here, but their mind is somewhere else. They think about past mistakes. They worry about future problems. They imagine worst-case scenarios. But the present moment is often peaceful. Stress usually comes from time travel. When you think about the past, you may feel regret. When you think about the future, you may feel anxiety. But when you focus on the present, you feel calm. Mindfulness is awareness. It means paying attention to what you are doing. If you are eating, just eat. Notice the taste. Notice the texture. Notice the smell. If you are walking, just walk. Feel your steps. Notice your breathing. Observe your surroundings. This may sound simple, but it is powerful. When you focus on the present, your mind slows down. When your mind slows down, your stress reduces. Many people rush through life. They hurry while eating. They hurry while working. They hurry while speaking. Their mind is always racing. A racing mind creates tension. Mindfulness creates space. Space between thought and reaction. Space between emotion and response. In that space, you find control. If someone says something upsetting, mindfulness helps you pause. Instead of reacting instantly, you notice your emotion. You breathe, you respond calmly. Without mindfulness, reaction is automatic. With mindfulness, response is intentional. Mindfulness also improves clarity. When you are fully present, you see things more clearly. You make better decisions. You avoid unnecessary mistakes because your attention is not divided. Distraction is the opposite of mindfulness. Today, distraction is everywhere. Phones, notifications, social media, constant noise. Your mind rarely rests. A restless mind creates restlessness in life. Mindfulness trains your focus. It teaches you to bring your attention back to the present moment again and again. At first, it feels difficult. Your mind wanders. That is normal. Gently bring it back. Over time, your awareness strengthens, and with awareness comes peace. Mindfulness also teaches acceptance. When you observe your thoughts without judgment, you reduce internal conflict. Instead of fighting your thoughts, you notice them. Instead of suppressing emotions, you allow them to pass. This reduces suffering. Living in the present does not mean ignoring the future. It means preparing calmly. You plan wisely, but you do not obsess. You remember that this moment is where life happens. The past is memory. The future is imagination. The present is reality. Buddha taught that peace is found in the now, not in achievement, not in possession, not in status. When you are present, even simple moments feel rich. A quiet morning, a deep breath, a calm conversation. Mindfulness makes ordinary moments meaningful. Without mindfulness, life feels rushed. With mindfulness, life feels fuller. Imagine driving a car while constantly looking in the rearview mirror. It would be dangerous, yet many people live this way mentally. They constantly look at the past, or they stare at the future without seeing the road in front of them. Mindfulness brings your eyes back to the road, back to now. Peace is not far away. It is hidden in this moment. When you fully experience this breath, this step, this action, you feel grounded. And a grounded mind is a peaceful mind. So the fourth life lesson is clear. Slow down. Pay attention. Live in the present. Because the only place where life truly exists is here and now. Lesson 5. Your words shape your reality. One powerful teaching connected to Gautama Buddha is about speech. Words are not small. Words create impact. Words build relationships. Words destroy relationships. Words create peace. Words create conflict. Many people think their words are harmless. They speak quickly. They speak emotionally. They speak without thinking. But once words leave your mouth, you cannot take them back. Buddha taught the importance of right speech. Right speech means speaking truthfully, kindly, and wisely. Before speaking, ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If words are true but harsh, they can hurt. If words are kind but untrue, they can mislead. Wisdom is balance. Speech reveals character. Angry speech shows impatience. Calm speech shows maturity. Your words shape how others see you. If you constantly complain, people see negativity. If you constantly criticize, people feel distance. If you speak with respect, people feel trust. Trust builds strong connections. Words also shape your internal world. How you speak to yourself matters deeply. If you constantly say, I am not good enough, your mind believes it. If you constantly say, I always fail, your confidence weakens. Self-talk shapes identity. Your inner words are as powerful as your outer words. Choose them carefully. Speak to yourself with awareness. Encourage yourself. Correct yourself without cruelty. Another important lesson is controlling anger in speech. When emotions rise, words become sharp. Sharp words cause lasting damage. Many relationships break not because of events, but because of uncontrolled speech. Pause before speaking. Silence is often wiser than emotional reaction. Silence prevents regret. Sometimes not speaking is the strongest response. Speech should create clarity, not confusion. It should build, not destroy. Gossip is also harmful speech. Talking negatively about others creates negative energy. It damages trust. It spreads unnecessary conflict. If someone speaks poorly about others to you, they may speak poorly about you to others. Protect your speech. Protect your reputation. Words also influence mood. If you speak positively, you feel lighter. If you speak negatively, you feel heavier. Language affects emotion. Emotion affects behavior. Behavior affects results. So words shape your reality. Think about encouragement. One kind sentence can change someone's day. One supportive word can build confidence. One calm response can prevent a fight. Words are powerful tools. Use them wisely. Right speech also means knowing when to listen. Listening is part of communication. When you truly listen, you understand better. Understanding reduces conflict. Conflict reduction increases peace. Before speaking, slow down. Ask yourself, what outcome do I want? If you want peace, speak peacefully. If you want respect, speak respectfully. If you want clarity, speak clearly. Speech is not just sound, it is intention, it is energy, it is influence. Your words create your environment. They create your relationships. They create your inner mindset. So choose your words carefully. Speak less, speak wisely, speak truthfully. Because once spoken, words travel far, and they always return. The fifth life lesson is clear. Control your speech, because your words are shaping your world every single day. Lesson 6. Let go of ego and practice humility. One of the deep teachings connected to Gautama Buddha is about ego. Ego is the voice that says, I am always right. I must win. I deserve more than others. I cannot be wrong. Ego feels strong, but in reality, ego creates conflict. It creates arguments. It creates anger. It creates separation. When ego is large, peace becomes small. Letting go of ego does not mean becoming weak. It means becoming wise. Ego wants to prove. Wisdom wants to understand. Ego reacts quickly. Wisdom pauses. Ego compares constantly. Wisdom focuses on growth. Think about arguments. Many arguments continue not because of the problem, but because of ego. Both people want to win. Both people want to be right. But sometimes being right is not as important as being peaceful. When you reduce ego, you reduce unnecessary battles. You do not need to prove yourself in every conversation. You do not need to respond to every criticism. You do not need to defend every small mistake. Humility creates strength. Humility means you are open to learning. It means you accept that you do not know everything. It means you listen carefully. A humble person grows faster because they are teachable. An ego-driven person grows slowly because they resist correction. Ego is fragile. It gets hurt easily. It feels attacked easily. Humility is stable. It does not shake easily. It does not fear mistakes. It learns from them. Ego also creates comparison. You compare success. You compare wealth. You compare status. Comparison creates jealousy. Jealousy creates frustration. Frustration creates suffering. Humility removes comparison. You are comfortable in your progress. Another sign of ego is attachment to identity. You define yourself by titles, by achievements, by recognition. When those change, you feel lost. Humility teaches that identity is deeper than titles. It is based on character. Character does not disappear when circumstances change. Humility also improves relationships. People feel safe around humble individuals. They feel respected. They feel heard. Letting go of ego also reduces anger. Many times, anger is not about the event. It is about pride being hurt. If someone disagrees with you, ego feels attacked. If someone corrects you, ego feels insulted. But if you are humble, you see correction as growth. Does not mean you think less of yourself. It means you think of yourself less. You are confident without needing superiority. You are strong without needing dominance. True confidence does not shout. It stays calm. The more you let go of ego, the lighter you feel. Less competition, less comparison, less anger, more understanding, more patience, more peace. Humility also allows gratitude. When ego is strong, you focus on what you lack. When humility grows, you appreciate what you have. Gratitude increases happiness. Ego increases dissatisfaction. The choice is clear. Choose growth over pride. Choose understanding over argument. Choose humility over dominance. Because ego builds walls, humility builds bridges, and a life filled with bridges is a life filled with peace. The sixth life lesson is powerful. Let go of ego. Practice humility. And watch how your relationships, your mindset, and your inner peace transform completely. Lesson 7. Kindness is true strength. One of the most beautiful teachings connected to Gautama Buddha is about kindness. In a world that often celebrates power, competition, and dominance, Buddha taught something different. He taught that kindness is strength. At first, this may sound simple, but true kindness is not weakness. It requires emotional control. It requires patience. It requires maturity. Anyone can be harsh. Anyone can respond with anger. Anyone can criticize. But not everyone can respond with compassion. Kindness means understanding that everyone is fighting their own battles. The person who speaks harshly may be stressed. The person who seems rude may be hurting. The person who makes mistakes may be struggling. When you see beyond behavior, anger reduces. Understanding increases. Kindness does not mean allowing disrespect. It does not mean being silent when boundaries are crossed. It means responding calmly. It means choosing understanding over aggression. True strength is control. When someone insults you, reacting with anger is easy. Responding with calmness is powerful. When someone disappoints you, shouting is easy. Explaining gently is strong. Kindness also creates influence. People trust kind individuals. They feel safe around them. They listen more carefully. Kindness builds connection. Connection builds community. And community builds peace. Another powerful aspect of kindness is self-kindness. Many people are harsh with themselves. They criticize their mistakes. They replay their failures. They speak negatively inside their mind. But growth requires compassion. If you treat yourself with understanding, you improve faster. Self-kindness does not mean laziness. It means learning without cruelty. It means correcting without hatred. It means improving without self-destruction. Kindness also reduces stress. Anger increases tension. Harshness increases conflict. Compassion reduces pressure. Peace grows where kindness exists. Buddha taught loving kindness meditation. This practice involves wishing well for yourself and others, even for those who hurt you. This does not mean you approve of harmful behavior. It means you release hatred. Hatred harms you first. Carrying resentment creates internal suffering. Kindness frees you. It frees your heart. It frees your mind. Kindness also spreads. When you act kindly, others feel inspired to respond kindly. One calm response can stop an argument. One gentle word can change someone's day. Small kindness creates big impact. Kindness requires courage. It takes courage to forgive. It takes courage to stay calm. It takes courage to respond with maturity when emotions are high. But that courage builds character. Character creates stability. Stability creates inner peace. Kindness does not make you weak. It makes you disciplined. It makes you emotionally intelligent. It makes you respected. The strongest person in the room is often the calmest and kindest. They do not need to prove their power. Their presence is enough. Kindness also helps you see life with gratitude. When you appreciate others, your heart becomes lighter. When you help others, you feel meaningful. Meaning creates fulfillment. Fulfillment reduces suffering. In a competitive world, choosing kindness is revolutionary. It changes relationships. It changes environments. It changes you. The seventh life lesson is clear. Choose kindness. Practice compassion. Respond with calm strength. Because true strength is not loud. It is gentle, it is steady, and it is kind. Lesson 8. True happiness comes from within. One of the deepest teachings connected to Gautama Buddha is this: true happiness does not come from outside. It comes from within. Most people search for happiness in money, in status, in relationships, in possessions. They think, when I achieve this, I will be happy. When I earn more, I will be peaceful. When others respect me, I will feel complete. But happiness built on conditions is unstable. When conditions change, happiness disappears. If happiness depends on money, financial loss creates misery. If happiness depends on praise, criticism creates pain. If happiness depends on success, failure creates depression. External things are temporary. Buddha taught that real happiness comes from inner balance. It comes from a calm mind. It comes from reduced attachment. It comes from awareness. It comes from contentment. Contentment does not mean you stop improving. It means you appreciate what you already have while still growing. Gratitude creates happiness. Comparison destroys it. When you compare your life to others constantly, you feel dissatisfied. But when you appreciate your present moment, you feel peaceful. True happiness is not excitement. It is not loud celebration. It is quiet satisfaction. It is a calm heart. It is a stable mind. It is knowing that even when life changes, your peace remains. Inner happiness grows when you reduce craving. Craving means always wanting more. More success, more recognition, more validation. There is nothing wrong with growth. But when your mind is never satisfied, peace becomes impossible. The more you chase endlessly, the more restless you feel. Happiness grows when you simplify your mind, when you accept imperfection, when you let go of unnecessary expectations, when you live in the present. Mindfulness supports happiness. When you are fully present, small moments feel meaningful. A simple meal, a calm morning, a deep breath. Without awareness, even big achievements feel empty. Buddha also taught that kindness increases happiness. When you help others, you feel connected. Connection creates warmth. Warmth creates joy. Happiness is not something you chase. It is something you cultivate, like a garden. If you plant gratitude, peace grows. If you plant awareness, clarity grows. If you plant compassion, joy grows. If you plant anger, stress grows. If you plant jealousy, restlessness grows. Your inner world decides your emotional life. Even during difficulty, inner happiness is possible. This does not mean you ignore pain. It means you remain balanced. Life will always include ups and downs, but inner happiness remains steady when it is not dependent on outside conditions. The happiest people are not those who have everything. They are those who have trained their mind to appreciate what is. They have learned acceptance. They have reduced attachment. They have embraced awareness. True happiness is freedom from constant craving, freedom from unnecessary comparison, freedom from emotional instability, freedom from endless dissatisfaction. When your mind is calm, you feel light. When your heart is kind, you feel warm. When your thoughts are clear, you feel steady. That is true happiness. It cannot be bought. It cannot be given by others. It is built inside, and once built, it cannot easily be taken away. The final life lesson is simple. Look within. Train your mind. Practice gratitude. Live mindfully. Let go of unnecessary attachment. Because when happiness comes from within, nothing outside can truly disturb you. The world is noisy. Life is fast. Problems will always exist. But peace is possible. The wisdom of Gautama Buddha teaches us something powerful. Control your mind. Reduce attachment. Live in the present. Choose kindness. Find happiness within. You do not need a perfect life to feel peaceful. You need a trained mind. If this video helped you see life differently, like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful life lessons that help you grow stronger every day. Remember, peace is not found outside. It is built inside.